Hello, this is Walter from the website Department of Champions Way. Today I'm going to show you how to edit elements. So our new responsive websites are consisting of elements or widgets. These are sections on your web page that are controlled via elements. For example, on some of your websites you might go into your home page, for instance. So if you go to marketing, website settings, once the page loads for you, you're going to see the left-hand side content. Go to Organize Pages. From there, toggle the toggle bar to the left of the Social Site App Suite or the app suite that you're looking at. Sorry about that, that's my email. So I'm going to toggle Social Site. And now I'm going to click the Edit button under Home. So if you basically hover over any one of your pages here, you're going to get three options: Edit, Clone, or View. So I'm going to go ahead and click Edit. Now, as you can see, as soon as my page in decide mode will change, you'll see that I have this information showing. Now, what these are what we call elements. So, for example, element name is the actual element itself. So the straight line and the asterisk before and after is just the holder for your actual element. So what's inside of this is basically the element name. So that's what you are going to be looking for. So so each one of these, as you can see, is its own element. So now to be able to access each one of these, you need to go into Update Elements. And I'm going to basically open this in a new tab. Alright, so now here, as you can see, this gives me my whole element list. So now, again, if we basically go into the elements themselves, or excuse me, if we go back into the page so we can see what we're doing, your page will now consist of, and go to Edit once again, and now your page, you'll notice, will consist of a list of elements: header, banner, programs, and so forth. Now, CSS is basically the cascading style sheet. So that basically just tells the website, what font size is designated to what areas. The JS, this is basically Java queries. So basically those you don't need. That's what runs basically your forms, your testimonial sliders, that kind of information. So really the ones that you are interested in are the header, the banner, programs, intro, so forth. So what we're going to do is, let me launch the website so you can see what each section is in our terminology that we're calling each of these. So just going back to setup here, so you can see that we have, as I said, CSS and the JS you don't need to worry about. Now the reason we're putting the set in front of it is just to give it first page placement in your element name. So as you can see, everything in your elements basically with a C in front basically comes to the top of the menu here. So that way we've got everything organized with the set in front of it. Basically means it belongs to your website portion. Alright, so basically get the website to load up. So here's a client's website. I'm going to use the martial arts company as an example of these different element areas. So now, again, just to backtrack here a second, the header, this is what we are referring to, the header at the top of your navigation. So home, programs, instructors, the logo, that is basically the header element. So if I were to go into your element list now and I look for your header, you'll be able to see that this particular element now corresponds to everything that we have there. So as you can see, the company name, company logo, and then home, programs, your drop down menus, and then instructor, so forth. So if I go into this, you'll see there's my logo, the company name, and then from here I've got my home button, my programs with the drop downs. So if we go back into that element, you'll see programs, then I have the drop down. Again, after the drop down I got the following pages: instructor, special events, gallery, contact us, and company phone. So if we go back and look at this, you'll see that Here's the programs, the drop downs, then the rest of my pages, and there's the company phone. All right, so that's how basically this is working. Disregard the very top here. This is all internal Perfect Mind stuff, so don't worry about that. That will not show up in the C header files because that's completely separate. Okay, so that's basically the header element. Now the next one would be the banner. So this would be the actual image and also the text that goes on top of that and the Join Us button. So if we go back now to your element list, and I'm going to click back on the elements list itself, and I'm going to go to CNAV now. So if we scroll down and we are looking for CNAV, oh, excuse me, CBanner, excuse me, and here it is. Now as you can see here, we will have this is now in design view, so you can see the company name, Martial Arts, and then Join Us. So let me go into HTML so I can show you something now. As you can see, again here we are, so this is the HTML inside of that actual page now. So now as you can see, we have another element inside of an element. So as you can see here, it says company logo and then company name. So these would be basically elements inside of that element. So for instance, company name element here, and this is what I'm referring to here, is referring to this. So now if I go back into my element list and you can see company name, if I just refer back to the main list of elements, and now I scroll down to my company name, you will see that the company name will appear inside of the actual element name itself. Now that's another organization name, another element, but just so you know, these are coming from your settings page, which is here. So company name is coming from here. Company phone number is coming from here. Your business address would come from here. Your email will come from here. Phone number. So anything with like company phone number, company name, that all basically comes from your settings page. This way it makes it easy for you to update your website. So if you change your company name inside of your settings page, you don't have to go to every place on your website that has that particular item, the phone number, for instance, or your email. So if you had it in multiple places around your website and you used what we call an element, then you would only need to update it in one spot and it will update it everywhere for you universally. So that's the idea of using elements. And the other reason is so when you're going to your website, if you change something, you miss a period or a little quotation mark, you can break your whole website. So by using elements, you can only now basically edit that portion of the website, nothing else. So this kind of also restricts the human error interaction to happen. So by using elements, we're basically taking that equation out of there. So a lot less for anybody to break on their existing website. Okay, so that's what that is. So we were talking about the banner. And again, this is basically the CBanner. This is where that information is coming from. So if you wanted to change, like what it says on the Join Us button, you could change it right here. So under Join Us, I'm going to have, let's say, 2 exclamation marks, for instance. And I'm going to save that. And now if I go into your web page and I refresh my page, you're going to see that right now I don't have any exclamation marks after the Join Us button. But as soon as I refresh this, you're going to see 2 little exclamation marks appear after Join Us, and there you are. So that's basically how it's running, but I don't want to have 2. So I'm going to go back into my element, and I'm just going to remove those exclamation marks from my actual button. So again, if you wanted to change Join Us now to take action today or whatever the case may be, you could do it. Now you can do this through design view as well, but just make sure that if you're doing anything in design, don't just come in and do that and then start typing. What I normally tell everybody is do this. That way you keep it open and then go back and remove the additional. This way you have a lot less worry of removing it and then not being able to get back into the same area. Another email just came through, of course. So again, join us. So if I refresh my page, you'll see now that my change will take place to take action today, as I typed into there. So there you go, take action today. All right, so fairly easy once you recognize what an element is and where you can find them. Quite easy to basically update these. So I'm going to go back in again and go to banner. And now, of course, like I said, you can do it through the sign view, but I prefer doing it through HTML because there's a lot less chances of, you know, breaking anything. For instance, here I know exactly, here it is. So I know that this is the only area I need to basically type into to make that change, because everything else is just telling the HTML language what basically needs to go where. So this is the area I need to worry about. So I can do this. I can just delete all of it. Now within that little area, the less than and greater sign, I can just now type in what I wanted to say. Join us. And then I'm going to go ahead and save it, and then this will basically restore what we had before. And just to show you that, this will now take care of that. Excuse me. So now you're probably asking yourself, so how do I change that image in the back? So now, normally there should be an element for that called background image. Here you are. So now, if I click on my background image, you'll see that the URL of that image is here. So what I do, or what you will need to do, is basically make sure that the first thing you do is that you know the proper size of your image. Now, because this is a background image, you cannot right click on it and it's going to give you the image information. It's because it is a background image, it won't allow you to do that. What you can do though is, because now you know where that image is, you know that it's banner JPEG. So if I go into my background image element again and I go into my image editor, this is where you basically will have to upload the image. Once you have it sized correctly, you'll need to basically upload it into the image editor here. So again, you basically will go into edit the page. It's kind of the same idea as a Microsoft Word document. Basically insert, you would come into it, and then you want to insert a picture, so you would click on the picture little item. Same idea as in the Perfect Mind website editor. As soon as this guy loads, so for instance here, if I bring that down here, you can see again that here are my icons, the same as in our Microsoft Word document. So you have your navigation here, your font, same as what we have here. We've got our font, AB, italicized, underline, change color, change size. These are kind of in little separate sections, so you have to click around to get to those, but ours are just basically across the top of the taskbar here. So again, if you want to upload a picture or clip art, of course we don't have those on ours, but we do have the image manager, which is where you would basically go in to upload a picture. So basically image manager again, so you would just go to the upload, and this is once you have the actual image size, of course. So just to show you here, so here's my image now. So it tells me it's in my image editor, and then it's in public images, and then the folder is 2016, and then banner JPEG. So images is my public images folder, so here, so then it says 2016. Anything with the slash after it means it's a separate folder. So 2016, and then after it says the image is banner JPEG. So if I look now for my banner JPEG, you can see that it's right here. So now if I go into my properties menu, you'll be able to see the actual image size on this one. Now this image size basically is 4032 by 2016, but because basically what's going to happen is the CSS is telling this image to resize itself to fit that particular area. So normally the dimensions that you can make your image are basically 2000 by 600 pixels. Once you have your image sized, you then are going to come into your image manager once again. And you're going to basically let it open up for you. As soon as it's opened, we are going to now upload the image that you have on your desktop that you have resized and it's ready to go. So we're just going to go click into it, and then we're going to click upload and select. This will now allow you to select the image from your computer's hard drive. So wherever the image is, you can just go into it. So let's just any image here. So let's say I'm going to be using that image, but of course it would be 2000 by 600 pixels. Then all I need to do is click on it, and then I would click the open button. So let's do something here like this. So let's pretend this image is your banner image. It's ready to go. So you can see the image now is here, instructor generic, and then I click my upload button. Once the image is uploaded, if you're using Firefox, you can right click on this and go to copy image location. If you're using Google Chrome, you can right click on it as well, but it's going to say something like image address or copy image URL, something to those effects, but it basically means the same thing as copy image location. So if I right click on this and I copy image location, what it's doing, it's copying the location of where this image is stored within your image gallery, within your PerfectMind database. So now if I cancel this, and just so I can show you, I'm just going to basically enter another line here, and I'm going to copy what I have, or I'm going to paste what I have on my clipboard. So if I right click and paste, you're going to see the new instructor generic image, which is what I just uploaded. So all you got to do when you have this now basically on your clipboard, of course, all you got to do is just basically override the existing image, right click, and paste over top of it, and you see the new image appear, which of course I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to cancel. But that's basically how easy it is to change your background image now. The same as I said before, if you wanted to basically change, what it says here, martial art classes, you can just go back into your element areas again, and we're looking for C banner once again. Open it. And now here you'll see martial art classes. And again, I like to do this in HTML, and then you can see martial art classes is my H1. And normally this would have something like martial art classes in your area. So this particular client did not want the area listed in here because it's his Google rankings are doing quite well. So it's just kind of overkill to keep adding it in here. So we decided not to add it based on his request. So if you wanted to add anything in here, you could do, your town's premier martial art classes, for instance. So you could basically come in here and edit that. But that is basically how you can go into your actual homepage if it's based on elements like this. Now basically, regardless of what pages you're in, because different pages are going to have certain elements inside it anyway, so it all works the same way. So if I go into my program pages and I go to teens and adult page, for instance, again, as you noticed, I basically toggled, and then I get the list of my pages. I go to the page I like or I want, I click the edit button, and now what I'm going to show you is basically inside of this page we probably do have an element. So for instance, let's see here. So I'm in the actual edit mode right now. So if you can see so here we go. So now here are a couple elements. So the testimonials, and now this is the team and adults page. So let me just show you what we're looking at here. So team and adults. And again, so when you're on your website and you want to go into a page, you want to basically look at the address. So you can see this is your domain name, so don't worry about that. But the next one is actually important because this is basically the app suite or the menu where your actual page is located. So if we go back to your pages and I go back to organize, just so I can show you something here, you'll see now then again, so just to go back, this is my domain name in front, so don't worry about that. The / is this guy. So this is basically telling you that now there's a new folder involved, which is called programs, which is our menu app suite. So if I go into setup, you'll see now that here's your next menu suite. So you got your domain, which is the first part. Then you got a /, meaning, okay, there's a break now, and then there's a new folder coming up. So we look for that folder in your organized pages section. So I'm going to toggle this. And then if you look again here, you're going to see the last / again, telling me, okay, there's another break here. And the next one now is Teens and Adults Program, which is actually the page. So if we go into programs and toggle it, you'll see now here's the page itself. So that's a quick way for you to find exactly where your page is located within your Perfect Mind database. So domain name first. And of course on this one, if you basically were editing inside of it, you would have the martialartscompany.com. You wouldn't have the perfectmind.com. Then the next one is the actual app suite or the menu, and then the page. Oops. And then your page name. And a / basically is the divider between each one of these guys. All right. So that's a quick way to finding where exactly your page is located. So now that we're in the page, you'll see that if we scroll down, we had the elements at the bottom here again. And the reason I know they're elements is because of the pipe asterisk before and after. And what's inside of it is the actual element name. So on this one, you know this is the actual C testimonial element, meaning most likely it is right here, this section. So if you wanted to change these, for instance, again, I now go to my elements because I know where this is. There it is, testimonials. I click on it. And now as soon as it loads, now here's each one of your testimonials. So if you wanted to change the Darcy testimonial, as I said, the easiest way for you to do it without having to work in HTML is just basically come into here, leave one letter, type what you like, go back, remove that letter once you got your new text, and then again do separately for the name. Because as you can see, the name is italicized and it's slightly smaller than the rest of this. So if you go in and do this, the actual labeling or font sizes and styles of each one area will basically be obliterated. So again, change your testimonial first by leaving one letter there, then change the name by leaving one letter and changing your new name, and then go back and change it. And the same would apply for the testimonial. Recommend it to anybody that is ready to work hard, blah, 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 blah. And then I would go back. Excuse my spelling here. I'm just basically trying to show you the idea. And then I would go back and then I would remove that extra letter there. And there you go. So now this way you can work in Design View without having to go into HTML and, you know, finding the actual quote and then the name. As you can see, the P tag is basically telling me that it's the beginning of a new line. So, and this is my new line, but you can see the name is now the same P tag, but it's got a class review name. So it's telling it to use a different font, different size for this particular piece of it. And again, I'm going to cancel now this because I don't want this to happen. And again, now where this is all coming from is, as I said earlier, it's from your CSS file. This basically dictates what happens where on your website. So for instance, you'll see that it'll be just a jumble of different stuff. So if I do a Control F and we look for review, let's say, oops. So reviews, you can see basically here now it will basically show me themes for review. So dot reviews, clear bows, auto, background black. So this tells me exactly what I want these reviews to actually do in my website. So name dot reviews is basically dictated by whatever is in here. So themes reviews, so I think ours was name reviews, if I'm correct. Themes reviews, so yeah, so this is basically how it's being dictated. So be careful when you are editing something on your page. Like I said, don't delete everything. Leave one letter in that area. Put yours, go back, remove that letter, and then go back to the next section. It's the best way to keep the formatting intact for you. And that's basically it. That's all I have for today. So this was a tutorial on how to basically edit elements and how to find them on your actual web page. As always, if you got any questions, you can always call our support line at 877-774-5425, and the extension is the number 2. I hope this was informative. Have a great day, and I'll be putting more videos up as time goes on. If you have a preference or a need for a certain video, please let us know, and we'll make sure to get that video on there for you. Have a great day, y'all.